seasons. I imagine you kind of flipped the tone of the banquet in a year too, didn't you?
Yeah, I think last year was a disappointing year. A lot of things go on to make that, and it just proves that there are no givens out there. But I really respect the job that our football team did, the grind, the grit that we showed really from day one, not just in the games, but really coming back and starting the process over and doing it the hard way. And that's what we've done here, and very appreciative of that. Not a big senior class, but the seniors who were there led, and then also we've got an infusion of young players into this program, which I think gave us a sort of a new life, and then our junior class is very, very solid.
Did this feel like a little bit of a celebration?
Yeah, it did. I think when you win 9 football games and you're going to a good bowl game, a great bowl game, and versus a great opponent, opportunity to win 10 games, that doesn't happen often. So, chance to send our players out. Now we need to get job number 10 done, but I think it was a great moment for us.
Mark, do you have a minute to appreciate the senior class and what role they've had in kind of getting this program back to where they're at?
Yeah, as I said earlier, as I just said, our seniors, some of those guys like Damian Terry maybe didn't play a lot, but he was a special guy to be number 2 on the depth chart and just continue to do what he did. He's experienced, Rose Bowls. Some of our 5th-year seniors have been in Rose Bowls and playoff games. 2 Big Ten championships, a part of that, and you never really take the time sometimes to appreciate the players who aren't always playing at the forefront of the program, to see how important they are. And we've had those guys that have done a tremendous job for us and showed us the way, and their expectations are high. Last season it was sort of a blip for us, but everything that we've gone through prior to that was very positive.
Chris talked about this kind of being like a Rose Bowl situation for you guys with Pac-12 and it not being a real Rose Bowl. I mean, do you sell your guys on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think the Big Ten and the Pac-12 have a unique rivalry because of the Rose Bowl, and I think I sort of feel like that. The Washington State game is on the West Coast. The Holiday Bowl is one of the behind the Rose Bowl, probably the premier bowl. So look forward to that. I think they've sold a lot of tickets. I think it'll be a big draw, and very exciting opportunity to go out there. And I'll go out there on Wednesday for a press conference and a dinner. I'll look forward to that.
I don't know the last time a sophomore was MVP.
Yeah.
But pretty significant statement for Joe Bocci, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it sort of sets the tone for our entire football team. We've got a young team, as I said, and with 78 players being sophomores or down, the future's bright.
For you guys, you're obviously 1 win away from 10 and accomplishing that mark. You're 1 away from 100. Would be to mean to get both of those out of the way at the same time, same season.
Yeah, sort of ironic. So gives us another thing to point towards. Yeah, it's when I look at 99 victories thus far, I look back and you think about the players that have been here and the work that they've done. Trent Robertson sat behind me at the basketball game, just by chance. But he's just one of them. And there's been so many players, so many great players, so many guys that have gone on to play in the NFL or started for us or had roles with us that have really been the foundation of who we are as a program.
Mark, today kind of symbolizes the end of the season. I know there's a bowl, but it's a completion time for it.
Yeah.
Are you anticipating any guys transferring?
Oh, I don't know. I think that everybody, probably at the end of the season probably sits down and tries to figure things out. But I'm sure that there's some people that have an opportunity to play someplace else or something like that. But no, I'm not anticipating anything. But you never know what may happen.
How different is the schedule right now as you're figuring out your bowl schedule, but now with the early signing period, does that change things a lot for you guys?
Well, it is a little bit unique because we've got 20 commitments and I expect all 20 to sign them on the 20th. So so that's unique in that aspect, but I guess it points towards juniors, recruiting juniors in January. But we'll take our time this week and do a little bit of recruiting, but the majority of it will be spent on Washington State.
With a little bit with Washington State, they had their top 2 receivers. It appears they're going to be gone. I mean, how does that change their dynamic in their core versus maybe they roll a lot of guys in?
Yeah, they roll a lot of guys in, offensively and defensively. I mean, really, you're looking at numbers thus far when I've watched the film, and you see so many different players playing and catching balls. And I think they've got I think, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think I got 5 guys that have caught, 50 balls or more. They're going to throw it.
Mark, I did some digging. The last time you faced off against the Mike Leach team was 2002, when you were still at Ohio State.
Yeah.
When you see Mike Leach's air raid, is there anyone in the Big Ten who does anything even close to the kind of stuff he does?
Well, I remember that game. I'm looking for the tape. But
Cliff Kingsbury played quarterback in that
yeah,
one.
Kingsbury played quarterback. We hit him 28 times. So if we can do that, we can have success. I would say there's some of the teams that everybody uses some facet of that offense, and they're going to be in empty. They're going to be in open sets, four wide sets. They don't use a tight end. Their running backs are going to catch the ball and check downs and swings and things of that nature, and they're going to get the ball out quick at times and throw it down the field at other times. So, conceptually, I think everybody has an aspect of that, but you may not see that over and over and over again. There's always a catch-22 with that. I do think you've got to be able to run the ball a little bit, so they'll probably try that a little bit as well.
Does that Alamo Bowl tape come into play too?
I think you look at my sense of who we are when we prepare for football teams is we look at everything that we can find. Whether it's teams that play like us or teams that play like them that did things, but we're going to look at every game that they've gotten and past games as well.
Mark, were you surprised, I got asked this, that a fairly innocent comment on a Michigan rivalry turned into such a big Twitter thing last week? Did that surprise you at all?
Well, in this day and age, not surprising.
Was that just, again, since we haven't seen you, a reaffirmation that we're not going away at Michigan State?
Michigan State's never going to go away. They're always going to be here, regardless who's coaching here, and it is what it is.
Their splits on the offensive line, Mark, are something your guys just don't get to see a lot.
Yeah.
For you, you're a defensive coach by heart. Is it kind of fun when you have a new thing to teach?
Well, their splits as big as they are right now, I think they've cut them down a little bit.
Okay.
It's something else to coach and, something else to learn as we move forward, and we have to be able to simulate those things and work from there.
Since the end of the
Last
season,
one, Joe's what you
has there just been one practice? How many practices have you had? How many
We've
meetings?
had 2 practices, and we've had numerous, well, I guess you could call Thursday a practice as well, but we've gotten our guys out there and worked them, lifting and running and 7-on-7 and things of that nature, and then really the entire team working these last 2 days.
And in the practices, what have you tried to get established? What do you try to do in those practices to accomplish?
Well, I think the main thing is you want to do is stay game ready, as much as anything, and play football. So, it was more technique oriented and about timing in the passing game, doing different things not schematically, but technique-wise relative to the position. So it's just about staying ready to play football. So they were active practices. We were running, hitting, and things of that nature, and that's all we would do. We wouldn't necessarily start to prepare until we've watched the games in their entirety.
Chance to experiment with position changes, anything like that?
A little bit of that.
You want to mention any of those right now?
No, not right now.
You back at it Friday, that's right.
We're back at it Friday, but they'll work Tuesday and Thursday as well.